Hello, my name is Greg Jones, and today I'd like to talk with you about the Fundamentalist-Modernist Controversy that occurred in America in the 1900s. The fundamentalists and the modernists disagreed over various theological doctrines. They debated the deity of Christ, whether the Bible was the Word of God or contained the Word of God, and whether the Bible was inerrant. One example of the controversy and the debates is the 1925 Scopes Trial. So what is the Scopes Trial? In the 1920s, states were passing anti-evolution laws which prohibited the teaching of evolution in schools. In 1925, Tennessee passed the Butler Act. According to an article and answer in Genesis by David Menton, the Butler Act stated that it is, and I quote, unlawful for any teacher in any of the university normals and all other public schools of the state which are supported in whole or in part by the public school funds of the state to teach any theory that denies the story of the divine creation of man as taught in the Bible, and to teach instead that man has descended from a lower order of animals, end quote. The American Civil Liberties Union greatly opposed these anti-evolution laws in the Butler Act. They posted articles and ads in the newspapers seeking someone to openly teach evolution so that they would be convicted of the crime and sent to trial so they could try the Butler Act in court. This occurred when John Scopes was willing to do it. He used a textbook that taught evolution and was convicted of violating the Butler Act. He was defended by Clarence, Darrow, and William Jennings Bryan was the prosecuting attorney. The two attorneys focused more on debating whether evolution should be taught in the school or not than they were focusing on proving the guilty or innocent status of Scopes. During the trial, Darrow used very strong anti-Christian rhetoric. The liberal modern theologians were very concerned that this strong use of rhetoric might turn public opinion against them. In the best part of the trial, the most important part to understand, was the debate on the days of creation. William Jennings Bryan took the stand, and Clarence Darrow asked him if he believed in the literal 6-day, 24-hour interpretation of creation. Bryan conceded that he did not believe in it, that creation could have been going on for millions of years. This statement allowed the belief that there could be a reinterpretation of the Bible, which was against fundamentalist doctrine that there was a strict interpretation of the Bible and that it should not be reinterpreted, which is the modernist belief. In the results of the trial, Scopes was found guilty, though he was acquitted by the Tennessee Supreme Court on a technicality. So how has this trial been viewed? Well, before the trial, in an article on July 8, 1925 for the New York Times, Bryan stated that it is a battle between Christianity and evolution and that only one can survive. He was quoted as saying, and I quote, "These men would destroy the Bible on evidence that would not convict a habitual criminal of a misdemeanor," end quote. In an article on November 4th of 1925, Reverend Charles Ackhead had a similar sentiment after the trial. He believed that the trial, and I quote, "set in battle, array the forces of ignorance," end quote. He believed that it was great harm to society. In later years, historian Mark Knoll, in a book, History of Christianity in the United States and Canada, also echoed the negative view of the results of the trial. He stated, and I quote, "The new ideas were going to destroy the nation's Christian heritage," end quote. The trial was dangerous and very detrimental to American Christian society. As we look at the Scopes trial and the Fundamentalist-Modernist Controversy, we can look at American history and see that God has been very evident in history. We can see His providence. But as we look at this particular example, we can see that there has been some erosion and corruption in the biblical and Christian principles that America was founded upon. Thank you for your time.